Before we start, I just want to say thank you to Andrew Elliott for sending me the letter and this biker Bible. Now, I'm no man of religion, but I really appreciate the I really appreciate the thoughts, or like the effort and all that. So thank you, because there's been some hard times, and thank you, Andrew Elliott. On that note, thank you, Arthur Alexio, again for live tools. And Arthur Alexio sent me a bunch of tools for my lathe and mill and earlier, and I broke a couple of the end mills almost immediately after receiving them, and he sent me replacements, so thank you. That's a while back now. There's been kind of a 2-month thing going on here. And also thank you, Mitutoyo, for sending me this bore gauge. I've only got a 3.1, and this is a 2-point bore gauge, the one you see people use in cylinders, and for a good reason. And I remember a comment with someone saying you need a 2-point bore gauge because a 3-point can't show ovalness, but that's true. And I think I replied that a 3-point can discover like out of roundness that a 2-point can't, and that's also true, but that's more like 3-lobed bores and stuff, and that doesn't happen in an engine. It's always they get oval, and so this is better for what I'm using it for. I just want to say, like, you're right, whomever said that. You're right, but wrong in a way, but right. No, you're right. And I also want to just thank everybody for all the support and nice comments, and I always feel like I'm not giving enough thanks. I'm not being thankful enough for all this and the whole community and all that stuff. So just thank you, and my patrons, thank you. Welcome back to my garage. Last video we got the engine running finally, and it seemed to. The results were inspiring. I think there's power in there. We need to fix the exhaust. I might remember a couple of videos back when I experimented with putting a square peg in a round hole here to get it started. And then we realized we don't have to do that to get it started. We can just spin it fast enough and it's not a problem. This also was part of that plan to release pressure and to get it started, but none of this is necessary anymore. It's so I really should delete this, and I definitely have to fix this. This is heavy and this is stainless, and I didn't back purge when I welded it, and there's a lot of cracks here, and also like having this heavy thing hanging off the header and also this heavy thing hanging off the whole pipe means there's much more stress here than what was supposed to be there. The footage of the welding might be corrupted. I got an error on the camera, but here it is, ready for installation. Probably can't see this too well, but I'm installing a colder spark plug because there's an 8 plug in there now. And that's far too hot for proper heat in the cylinder. Let's start it up and see if we can get the dyno to behave this time. I forgot to turn on the screen recorder, but there's just nonsense numbers here. I tried disabling RPM2 and then enabling it again, and I can't find anything wrong with how I've set things up here. So let's try that again and see what happens. Same problem. See if I'll disable RPM2. I think there's some confusion in the software here where it thinks this is not load cell 2 RPM, it's supposed to be engine RPM, but there's no option here. So let's call that not used and see if that helps with the word. Obviously that was the problem, but it must be something I've done wrong in here then. I think updating the software helped, because now I could choose other RPM channel for RPM2 versus just not connected or load cell 2 RPM. I want to take a quick moment to thank the probably longest time supporter of this channel, NordVPN, and they're sponsoring this video. Thank you for supporting this very strange specimen of a human being throughout all this. NordVPN keeps you secure on the internet. They create an encryptable tunnel for your data to travel in so that no one can spy on you and steal your data, like credit card information or personal stuff that you don't want spread around the internet. They keep you safe from all the threats out there, like password attacks, malware, malicious advertising, phishing, all that stuff. But the main reason why I like NordVPN is because I can pretend to be from wherever I want, which I've talked about so many times. And the reason I like being able to pretend to be from wherever I want is I can watch TV shows and movies and play games and stuff that's not available where I live. At home, and I can also access stuff that's available at home but not where I'm traveling to, and that's my main reason for that's what I like NordVPN the most for, even though it's not like the serious side of it. Now I'm from Norway, but now I want to be from Montreal, and there I'm from Canada, Montreal, Canada. Awesome. And this can come in real handy for booking cheaper flights, especially if you pretend to be from somewhere with a really low income. So that's a neat trick. Head to nordvpn.com/twostrokestuffing and take advantage of their back to school offer. Get 4 months free of a 2-year subscription. And it's risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee. Thank you, NordVPN. I'm replacing the plug because there's a lot of gray residue here. I think it's it doesn't seem like it's been running hot, but I think it's from the rotary valve. Might be we'll need to. Fritz Overmars told me that a low friction surface with a carbon fiber valve is not the way to go because, or it can be low friction, but it can't be soft like the PTFE. It's too soft. It needs to be hard, like some kind of hard plating or cast iron, ceramic. And, I have no reason to doubt him because it got much easier. It was much easier starting it when I put in that like fresh plug, not new, but not used in a while and not used in this engine. But if it starts easier now, it's likely that we'll need to replace that low friction surface in the cover with the hard surface, cast iron. I think I have some cast iron here, or even better, some really hard plating or ceramic. I'm pretty sure that's our problem now, because there's even some. Seems like the cover is leaking slightly, and there's this really black stuff coming out of there. So I know a carbon fiber valve works, and I know a carbon fiber valve worked in my, or does work in my old engine, and that engine has a plain aluminium cover, but it's not machined. So there's the corroded surface. I forgot the name. I'm going to do that process, but now I forgot what it's called. Anodized. It's not anodized, but it's the surface. What's that layer called? The surface of aluminium. What forms? Oxide. Aluminium oxide. That layer. That's the difference. This is machined surfaces with not like probably not as thick an oxide layer as the straight out of the factory or straight out of the plant aluminium surface. So we're gonna hard anodize the cover. I think that's our first. We'll try that first, and if that doesn't work, we can machine it down and then attach a hard surface like cast iron or something better. Okay. This is actually a day later, and I think I forgot to mention what happened with the dyno results. Well, before the engine wouldn't start anymore, I didn't get any good results at all, like 4 horsepower or something. So I'm not sure if that is a dyno problem or if it's really not making power at all. It seems strange. It runs nicely and it feels powerful, but I think maybe this the black goo is shorting the plug in, so it's not firing properly. Like maybe just half the cycles or something. I'm not sure, but it seems strange that it's not making more than 4 horsepower now, and we'll get to the bottom of it. But I'm pretty sure, even though this is not a main problem, this is a problem. Like all that black stuff, conductive black stuff in the oil and fuel is definitely problematic. I'll have to put this back on so that I have something to grab onto. You can see this stuff. That's not a good thing. So the carbon fiber valve has been wearing off the PTFE surface, and also there's been some wear to the carbon fiber valve itself. My theory now of what's happened is that it stopped running because it started wearing into the aluminium, and then we got this more of that conductive goo or conductive slurry in the engine, shorting the spark plug. Option number 1 would be to replace this carbon fiber valve with a steel valve instead, which would be far less abrasive. It might be that the sheet of carbon fiber this is from is like the carbon fiber is probably the same, but maybe the resin used for that sheet is not suitable for this application. Maybe it's not durable enough or something, because it's I haven't seen grooves in the valve itself before. It might be from the like sharp edges after wearing down the surface, but nonetheless it's I haven't seen this happen to the rotary valve before. In my other engine with the carbon fiber valve, this did not happen. This frying pan low friction surface, I put that in place because I thought friction in the rotary valve assembly was the reason why the engine wouldn't start at low RPM or wouldn't idle and stuff, and it might be part of the reason, but the main reason is it just doesn't want to run that low. So low friction surface is, and it didn't really make a difference, so this low friction surface is not necessary. What is necessary is something really hard so that the carbon fiber can't wear into it that easily, or the steel valve. And here's my little dilemma, because it would be fun trying not just anodizing but hard anodizing, just because that's the correct, like that would be better for this application, and there's not something you typically do at home, because you have to chill the acid to like 0 degrees Celsius while in the bath, the anodizing bath, and also you have to run really high voltage and current, like 100 volts and maybe 50 amps or something, I think, depending on the size of the part. So dangerous, and cooling the acid while applying so much voltage means a cooling circuit that can take sulfuric acid, and it's just really interesting and really easy to like see if I can do that myself. Just like another option, which is using either steel or actually an aluminium valve, and then applying the nickel silicon carbide, so the NicaSeal surface, because I have all the chemicals from my do-it-yourself cylinder plating setup. But that's experimental. I've never seen anyone have a silicon carbide cover on a rotary valve, so it might be a stupid option, even though it would be fun. Another option is trying electroless nickel plating, because I've also got chemicals for that process, and And I would need to, I don't think that really sticks to aluminum, but I think there's some, like you can scratch a nail or something to get some ferrous stuff embedded in the surface, and then it will start plating. Experimental. A disc of really hard material is probably the best, or a ceramic coating or something. A ceramic disc. Probably not easy to machine and stuff. But that's the tried and true solution. And so Fritz Overmars suggested some fancy stuff, but also just cast iron. And I think maybe we'll just go for cast iron for prototyping, and we can improve upon the hardness later on. So cast iron. I'll need to find some cast iron of the correct size, and I think there should be something somewhere around here. Maybe a brake disc or something of hopefully the correct dimension. I'm worried about the center hole being too large. I'll see what I can find. I think we'll have to go. Well, actually, maybe I should spend some more time thinking about this, because just a disc of cast iron, that's not really the most interesting process, even though that would be the fastest and tried and true way. But hard anodizing, maybe it's an opportunity to do something really interesting. I usually just jump on those opportunities. And also the nickel silicon carbide plating. If my bath of, well, I don't think the nickel salts will go bad. I think there's a good shelf life for nickel salts, and but the silicon carbide and the boron nitride in the bath might be really caked at the bottom. I think the best is to think about it. I'll see if I've got some suitable cast iron first. I can't find a suitable piece of cast iron in my garage, so I have to buy something or find something somewhere. I think the best thing to do is to think about it a little bit more, and maybe you can come up with some good suggestions or other options in the comments. And while thinking about it, I think it's time to resurrect the Death Trap bike, because I've now taken off the exhaust and I stole the carburetor, and it's been neglected, and I kind of promised myself it would be untouched and just rideable. So that's what we're gonna do now, while I'm thinking about other options or what to do here. And while you're thinking about what to do here. What's the interesting but least experimental option that should work and is easy to implement? Notice I'm suited up, and all this stuff I actually bought for riding that bike, you might remember, because I'm fully aware it might disintegrate between my legs any moment, and I'm not gonna push it. I'm just gonna take it easy and just give you an idea of what's going on here. I had to just leave this over the weekend because I was seriously starting to doubt my own ability to do anything at all. As I've been stuck in, well, as things looked to become much better, and then like finally things were working, and then like 4 horsepower, and it wouldn't start anymore, but a carbon fiber rotary valve. The reason for that is it's lighter, and so that's better, but it's not necessary. So for testing purposes and prototyping in this phase of the engine build, we're going to use this old saw blade, destroyed, I must add, and make a new rotary valve out of steel. And it'll be heavier, there will be more imbalance. Could work in our favor actually, but for testing. And this is not as abrasive as this is, and it's also not as soft as this seems, the epoxy part of it, as there's grooves in it. And it should maybe, hopefully, work better together with the PTFE surface or titanium nitride, whatever this is. And maybe we, like, before we start playing with other materials for the cover, cast iron or ceramics, we will make a new rotary valve, less abrasive one. Okay. I might have made a slight mistake in the tool path there. I was not supposed to ramp down that fast. And I just kept it going because, well, maybe it can do it. Well, it couldn't. Now we can live with the assumption that this will work. It won't be too heavy and vibrate everything to pieces, and it will solve the issues with all that carbon fiber / aluminium slurry shorting out the spark plug. And so next time, I'm gonna go to bed thinking this worked, and I'm not a failure after all. See you next time.